Hello Falcons, this is Todd Frank here, and in this video I will show you how to edit with iMovie on iPhone. So right here we have the projects board, which is what you see when you first open iMovie. And what you see here are the projects that I have laid out, which I will use to explain certain topics. So we have basic editing. Ignore slap that bass. That's just another project I'm working on. We have volume, green screen and chroma key, and transitions and animation. So yeah, that's what your projects would look like. Excuse me. When you are not currently editing them, but like if you want to switch between them, this is what they'd look like. And in the top left, we have this import project feature. So if you're also editing on like your Mac or your iPad, you can import them through that way too. And if you have no idea what I just said, or if you forgot and you don't want to look back at this video, there's always this question mark in the top right that shows you what these are. And so these are the pre-made projects that I have, and if you want to make something new, you just click this plus sign and you have movies and trailers. I always work for movies because they just are the free range. You edit it your way, while trailers are this preset template where you just slap in your videos in for, well, a template. So not really what we're looking for, so they'd all be for movies. So aside from that, let's start with basic editing. So if you click on a project, you get to this page where we have in the top left, we have projects, which is just kind of a back arrow option. We have two preview options with these two plus signs. You have this mini window right here, which just shows from the beginning what we have. Hopefully you heard me and that video didn't drown me out. And we also have this other player which shows the full video, and you can quickly skim across to the other portions if you like. Oh shoot, I need to see how it looks 2 minutes in. Well, you can scroll over there like that. And bottom middle we have the export feature, which is how you use to save and export them to your photo library or whatnot. If you need to save it to files or however you use to get them onto YouTube, you'll find it through here. Then you can later use it to get to YouTube and that stuff. And in the bottom right, we have the trash can, which symbolizes, of course, deleting. So there's that. So now we want to edit our movie. So right here we have this lovely range of what it's like to edit an iMovie. So first, before we start editing, I want to go over the features of the done, the plus button, the play button, the undo button, the gear, and the question mark. So first off is done, which is quite simply another back arrow option, just gets you out. Top right, we have the question mark, which, as I've gone over, if you forget what I said and don't want to go back, those just gives you those little highlights where it's like what these certain buttons do. Right here we have the plus button, which is what you use to add certain features and files. So if you want to add a video, you'd click here, and right here you have photos and videos. So these four groups are just how you add stuff that's in your photo library. So moments is just all your photos and pictures all together in a kind of chronological order because they're ordered by days, but the first video is the first thing you've done that day. So it goes like chronological, then it goes back, chronological, then goes back. Kind of weird, but I normally, since I, of course, edit with videos for Falcon Media and that stuff, you just go to videos and I just go to recently added and you'd find them there quite easily. Or what I normally do to help out is that I just highlight them all and add them to an album that I've labeled strictly for Falcon Media stuff. So if I go to albums, right down here, I can see media right there. So like here I have all my transitions and all my general stuff. Other than that, you also can add audio. And right here we have soundtracks, my music, and sound effects. So soundtracks are just the built-in public domain songs. So if you want a song, but you are scared that you may get copyright striked, just use one of these. You can quickly download them and add them to your video. And I'll later teach you how to edit the audio and that stuff for that stuff. So you see you have pop, playful music, chill, sentimental, retro, action, holiday and events, just all these different types of music that you can download. I generally don't use them. How I use music for at least the Falcon Media is that I find the music that everyone's heard of but doesn't know the name of. There are literally playlists of these music on YouTube of just literally titled, so yeah, playlists that are literally titled music that everyone's heard of but doesn't know the name of. They're literally everywhere, and they actually kind of work quite well with what I use. So aside from that, we have my music, which is just all the music you've downloaded on iTunes. So if you want to use those like such. And other than that, we have sound effects, which are these pre-built and sound effects. So these nice cartoon sound effects, they work kind of well. I generally don't use these because they just aren't the ones I'd ever need, unfortunately. But yeah, if you want to just hear what they sound like, so you just tap them. And so it would play this demo, and if you want to add it, you press add. But we're not gonna, so let's just go back. So other than that, we have camera and voiceovers. So these are just options where you want to add on the go. So say I want to film something, I'd go here, and let me just focus around. Hi, it's me. I'm in my closet, and those are all the balloons from previous birthday parties. So yeah, aside from that, so you can add a video or a photo. Yeah. Also, I want to point out an easy feature is that if you can see in the top left, let me just rotate it right this way. You can easily tap this top left area to change the features. So you have 1080p 3 FPS, which is the quality and the frame rate of your video. You also have 1440p 60 frames per second, 720p at 240 frames per second. So that's basically slow motion. And we have 4K 30 frames per second. So if now I'm just going to forewarn you, the best camera choice to use is 4K 30 frames per second. You can film at 4K 60 frames per second, but generally what happens when you share videos, you lose your frame rate and it just goes back to 30 frames per second. So why waste the hassle? Just keep it at 30 frames and you're good. So, let's go back. So voiceover is a similar thing where if I go here, I can add this little voiceover narration. I kind of can't right now as I'm actually recording my voice as I'm doing all these actions through the screen recording feature on iPhone. So if I want to do this, I just line up the right thing, then add the voiceover, then I press record, then this 3-second timer will go off. It'll go 3, 2, 1, and then it would start recording, and then you'd press stop, and then it will give you an option to cancel, retake, review, and accept. So review is just like a play again of what you just said, and it mixes how it is. Retake is an obvious retake. Canceling just quits that option altogether, and accept allows the thing to stay in your video project file. So other than that, we also have files. So if you, these are just like videos that are in your files app. Generally, if you download a video from YouTube through another app, not another app, but like from Safari or on the internet, you download them, it would not go to your photo library, but what it will go to is the Files app. So easy way to get those instead of going to the Files app to save them to your photo library. You can just go straight to Files, and you can see I have these several videos on my Files app. So yeah, there's how you add videos and files to, or videos and other files to your projects. So over on the right, we have the gearbox, which is your project settings. So in the top area, we have all these possible filters. These are just filters that gets applied to every video and photo that you have in your project. You just click it and it would apply that filter to everything. I never use these. If I use a filter, it's going to be related. I'm going to use that through InShot or through my Mac, which on Mac, iMovie can do a lot more than just on here. It's a bit complicated. I don't know, since I just got my Mac a few days ago and I'm still learning the kinks of it, but I'll just maybe make a follow-up video just for the Mac version. Who knows? So I, of course, generally just have it be as it is. Themes, I never really use these. I don't necessarily know what they are, as I am not knowing what they are. I just keep them on simple and edit the videos how I choose to be. Themes don't do anything really aside from add one new way that you can transition between videos. And you can also have this certain soundtrack in the background, which are, if you saw at the add music area, those were those theme musics that were on the bottom. I never used them though. So aside from that, we have the three things that I do use here: fade in, out, and out from black, and speed changes pitch. So they're pretty self-explanatory. If you want to add them, if you will toggle them, so if I do this, it'll fade, your video will fade in from black. You toggle out, it'll fade out from black. And this one is generally the one I use the most, is that speed changes pitch. That's basically the effect where if you change the speed of your video or your audio file, it will change the pitch. So if I toggle this on, then if I have a video that's going twice as fast, the people in there are going to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So you get that gist. So that's everything in the project settings. So aside from that, we have the play button, which is just a preview. Just shows everything. And in the bottom right, we have the undo button, which you can click up to 10 times before basically your iMovie just doesn't know what happened before then. So it's just like you have 10 strikes before you're out. So yeah, that's everything. Let me just go over my list because this is the 17th time I've tried filming this. And so I think I've gone over everything. Filters, themes, fading from black. No, so yeah. And so right here in this project, we have 3 examples of videos, which are the normal horizontal video, a vertical video, and a photo. So yeah, those are your different types of files. So normal video looks the same. It fits the screen quite well. A vertical video, when you add them, looks like this. They're in this square ratio. And basically what the ratio is the aspect ratio is what your frame is of your screen. So right now, you can probably tell that there is a black bar on the top and bottom. You generally see these in movies, especially for action movies. Those are letterboxes that are going to be on top. But as you can tell from here, this is basically a full screen. It fits your computer screen. This is a square, so there's going to be these black bars on the sides. And so that's fine if you want them to be this square ratio. If you use a square ratio, that generally brings a almost nostalgic feeling thanks to like Polaroids, as those are also square. But if you want to change them, you just click on here, and in the top right of the screen, you have this magnifying glass. So you can zoom in, and suddenly Johnny's face is filling the screen exactly how it wants to be. Or if you want to just keep zooming out, and it is in a way so it fits the screen. So yeah, you have this where you fit it, or you can fill it however you want it, whatever you need. So here is a picture, and so say, what if they're actually, an interesting thing is that they're just a different kind of thing, where if you tap it, you have Ken Burns. And what Ken Burns are is when you want to move the frame of your video from one position to another. I just checked with iMovie on Mac. You can do these with videos, but you can't on here. So what Ken Burns are is, say we have a start position and an end position. So if I just demonstrate here, it starts and it ends at the frame where it's designated to end. So say I want it to start at the far end of here, and I want it to zoom out. I just click start position, pinch in, then I go to the end position and pinch out. And so now it would have this effect of this zoom out. And if I don't want, and if I just don't want Ken Burns, I just have Ken Burns disabled, and it would just be like this, a still frame for the entire thing. So that's nice. And so yeah, videos, they're nice. Photos, not so nice per se. As of course, as I just mentioned, certain features are changed or missing. And one thing I will quickly demonstrate is that with basic editing, if I click on here, what I will later demonstrate later is the split option, which cuts videos in half. So if I want to make it a certain length, I can easily click that and just say I want to take that out. I would delete it. I'll just undo it. But here, that split option is gone. So all you can use is trimming, which is, if you go to these yellow bars on the side, you just elongate it and shrink it. And you can see in the top, it shows the time duration of the video. So it goes 3 seconds. And I can make it go pretty much for infinity, actually. But I don't want to do that because no one would watch this picture for literal infinity. So it's just common sense. Now, aside from that is, let me just go around how you can quickly move from like one end of the project to another, because soon enough you're going to be editing videos that are going to be 10 minutes long. So say I want to get to the beginning of the video. I just want to pinch just like this. I'm doing this pinching motion, and then I can just quickly go over to this side. And if I want to go over there, go over there. Now, an odd thing that disappears when you're in horizontal mode, so I'm going to flip this, so I may have just broken all your necks as you're now kind of lopsided, but you have this back feature right here next to the play button, which sends you back to the beginning of the file or video that you're there. So I want to go to there, and it just say, you get what I mean. Yeah. So other than that is that you can go to the beginning and the end by slightly pressing down on the right or left sides of the screen. So I'm going to go to the end by gently tapping the right, and I'm going to go to the beginning by gently tapping the left. So yeah, that's nice. So is there anything else? Jumping from the beginning, enlarging and shrinking the timeline. And so yeah, enlarging, shrinking, and show the rest of the video here. So yeah, that's basically the basics of not editing, but just like getting your way around iMovie. Other than that, let's actually get to the editing. So one thing you're going to want to do when you edit is that you want to be as precise as possible. So it's best if you unpinch. I don't know what the reverse version of a pinch is. So you can get these long versions of these videos. They're, of course, the same length. They're just enlarged, so you can get more precise splits. So say, well, I can't really split this, but let me just say this video went on and say, like, yeah, right here, I have this portion of the video where it's accidentally filmed vertically. And right here is when I want the actual video to start. So if I want to get rid of it, I click it. And right here in the bottom left, we have the 5 main topics, I guess you can say, of editing for iMovie. So we have the basic editing feature, which is the stuff seen with the scissors. We have speedometer, we have volume, we have text, and filters, which we've kind of gone over. It's just, I'll quickly just explain what filters are. They're just like, of course, they put a filter on, but it's just for this one specific video instead of the whole project. So yeah, let me just go right to here. And so say I want to quickly get rid of all this previous stuff where it's in vertical. So I'd click split, which is this feature that, of course, splits the video right where you've not necessarily highlighted, but wherever this cursor is, it splits it right there. And I want to get rid of it, so I'd go to the far right and delete it. So yeah, see?
Also a lot like
we went to the 70th floor.
All good. Now detach, what that does is that it detaches the audio from your volume. So I click it, and right here, this blue thing is the volume of your video. Well, not the volume, the audio of your video. So I can move this around. I don't want to do that because for some reason, iMovie tends to crash when you start editing with volume. So be careful of that. I'm just going to undo that so I don't have to deal with that. And duplicate is quite simply explainable. I just duplicate it and the video duplicates itself. So yeah, you see?
this is not like
we went to the 70th floor. You can't see.
Yeah, it's the exact same video, just twice. So I just want to get rid of that. And now we have the speed. So annoying thing with speed is that you can't move around the timeline, which is, I have no idea why, but you just can't. So I go to speed and say, it's quite explainable. You can, you can make it up to twice as fast, or you can make it 1/8 the original speed. So as you can see, this video was originally 9.4 seconds long, or you can make it 1 minute and 29 seconds long, or you can make it up to 3.7 seconds long. Yeah, self-explanatory. Now there's also this, if you see in the bottom right, we have freeze, add, and reset. So freeze is just this 1 second freeze frame, which is quite explainable. You select a frame to freeze on, so like right there, as I previously said, then I add the freeze, and so it goes like this.
You can't.
So yeah, and if you want to make it longer, you can just click this freeze frame option, this freeze motion, and just elongate it however long you want or however short you want. So just like that. It's another trim feature. but not generally nice as technically if I'd want to have a freeze frame, I want it to go on for a certain amount of seconds, but as you can see from the top, that's the entire length of the video. So you just have to do your math and be like, okay, if I want it for 2.5 seconds, if I add a freeze frame, that would add another second. And so if I want to make it 2.5 seconds, I'll make it 1.5 seconds longer. It's just stupid math, but whatever. And so there's also, say, this portion of the video, I want it to go faster, but I want it to be right here. So I'd click add, and it basically adds this feature like splitting, but of course the video isn't split into two, where these two sections of videos of the time can be at different speeds. So say I want this to be 4.5 times the speed, I want this to be faster. So you can tell if I go right here, this part will be a tiny bit slower and this will be faster. So here's the demo.
Do you have to have a room there to see anything?
Look how bad they look.
So yeah, you get that gist. Now say, oh no, I've accidentally just kind of screwed everything up by messing with the time. You can easily just click reset and everything is back to normal. All right, and here we have volume. I'm not going to go over volume as it kind of is its own bag of worms. We're going to get that in the next portion of the video. Why is this at 106%? Or who cares? All right, text. So right here we have these basic text options, and the only difference is how they enter the screen. So we have simple, we have standard, we have prism, gravity, reveal, line title, expand, focus, and pop-up. So they only differ from how they animate onto the screen and how they transition. So you have these different versions. They all have different placements aside from, say, I want this effect, but I want to be in the lower corner. It will be, each of them have the center and lower options. So say I want a title version, or if I want something that's just to be stuck in the corner, you just use that. So say for the beginning of the video, I want a, I don't know why that kind of edited that way, but that's weird. So, but let's just say I only want one section of this video to have a title. Where as you can see, I added title text here.
There to see
It
anything?
stays for the entire video. So, how to counteract this, say,
Also a lot like
You went to
the
the 70th floor?
I want to end here. All I can do is split it, and this portion of the video will not have the title. It'll just
also
be
a
in here,
lot like
you went to
the
the 70th floor? You can't see crap.
and then it will be
because you
gone. Nice and easy how they let that happen. So yeah, those are the possible options, and we've gone over filters. So is there anything else? Demonstrate. So now let's actually talk about adding an actual video. So say I go to and find a video that I want to add. Well, the thing is, I can add it in several different ways. So I've got, say we want to select this thing. Well, let me just quick download it. Shuck, please don't be so long. All right, so I have this option. Now I can simply add it like this, and it'll just pop right into frame. Right there, you can see Ian's lovely face. But actually, say, I don't want this video to be like a basic regular video. Say I want it to be playing at the same time as this video. Well, you can do that. So right here's the video we've selected. And so we have this preview option. Yeah, and we have these 3 dots right here, which you can use to add the video in a certain way. We have cutaway, which is basically just the video. If I click on here, it'll play on top of everything seen here. You can move it, say, to here, which say
That's
starts,
a lot. Like
and then just cuts to the next portion.
You can't see crap because
So generally what this is useful for is if you're going to cut away to something, but you want the audio from these main videos to play over it. So those are good for, say, an interview. So like an interview is going on and say it's for sports, then right here is where the sports would play. No, that's nice how I never generally use cutaways, but they're good for this effect, as I can see, with the text still being over top. Interesting. So, say we don't want to cut away, we can also we also have picture-in-picture, which is self-explanatory. It adds the video as a picture in the frame. And if I click on the video, we have this magnifying glass option where I can change the framing of the video so you can see Jamin's lovely face. Or if I can just make it... Oh, no. Oh, I should probably have mentioned, if you want to change the title, you just click the title and say... Change that to, say, Theater Detroit, as that this is when this is from.
also a lot. Like
you went to the
Yeah,
70th
that's nice.
floor, you can't.
Now, say I want to not change this, but say I want to change the position. So say I want this right here, I can shrink it and make it grow, and I want it right in this corner. So there it is. I can have it be that way. Or say, what's this white border doing? I don't want that there. Easy. Now it's gone. So it's just this little frame right in the middle of the video.
Floor, you can't see crap because you have to have a room there to see anything.
So yeah, that's the photo and picture-in-picture option. And we also have split screen, which is quite simply a split screen where each video is playing at the same time. You can see both of them quite clearly, at least whatever is in the center of each frame. So if I click this, I can either, well, if I click this in the bottom right or bottom left, we have this option where I can switch what it can be to. So I can change it to cutaway, a picture-in-picture, or a green screen option. Or I can have in the top right, we have this option say, I don't want this picture I added on the right. I want it to be on the left. So I just click there. It's on the bottom. Now it's on the left. Now I can also click it. Now it's on the top. So it just goes through this clockwise motion. And say also, maybe you're like, I don't want this white border in between. Well, now it's gone. So lucky us. If I want to zoom it, so say I want to focus on Abby, at least for this motion, and you can see a lovely big face of Grace.
Because you have to have a room there.
You can have it be closer, and of course you can do the exact same with the videos you're overlaying this on top of by, of course, using the pinch to zoom option and just zooming in and out however you see fit. So yeah, that explains the split screen option. So if I delete that, I can also show that there is a green screen option, which I will go over in the green screen portion of the video. And so right now that just leaves us with audio only, which is self-explanatory. It just adds the audio of that video. So yeah, the entire audio goes on and even longer after the video. Excuse me. So yeah, interesting thing. The video ends at whatever moment goes further. So funny thing is the audio can go on for much longer than the actual video. And I think I just accidentally deleted it. So yeah, this goes on for 1 second longer than it did thanks to the audio. And so it just cuts to black and then continues on with that. So yeah, that's how you can add certain files. So let me see what else I've gone over. And so the only thing left to go over for basic editing are transitions, which are represented by these little dividing boxes that separate the videos. So when you add like 2 videos at the same time, this option will be the default, which is the dissolve, where it just fades into the next thing.
Look how bad they look though. No, I like them. Mine look good.
So yeah, self-explanatory. If I click here, I can see all the options I have. So we have none, theme, slide, wipe, and fade. So none is just instantaneous cut to the next thing. Or whoop, if I actually click it, yeah. You see?
This is not helping.
Look how bad they look though. No, I like them.
Yeah, an instantaneous... Oh, whoa. It's an instantaneous cut to the next thing. Theme, as I've explained previously, is determined on what the theme you've set through the settings. And so dissolve, we just went over. Slide is a sliding motion where the right video goes on top of the previous video. So you can see here.
Not helping.
Look how bad they look though. No, I like them.
Yeah, explains that. Wipe is a similar movement, but it just unveils it. It doesn't move it on top of, just has this unveiling motion. And other than that, we have fade, which is this fade to black and then back to the other thing. So aside from these options, you can make them longer or shorter, depending on your lengths of the videos, because you can't say dissolve from one video to next if your dissolve effect is longer than your actual video, because there's nothing more it can dissolve, technically wise. It's literal math. You can't take more than you can chew. So we can have it be a 0.5 second, 1 second, 1.5 second, or 2 second length of a transition. So you can see with the 0.5 second,
Not helping.
Look how bad they look though.
it's fast, or if I go to the 2.5 second, it's a gradual.
Look how bad they look though. No, I like them. Mine look.
Yeah. So that explains that. And aside from that, we have in the bottom right this speaker, which is for all of these options. They have their own sound effects. I never use them. But if you want to have your transition to have a sound effect, you can turn that on, and
Look how bad they look though. No, I like them. Mine look good.
so yeah, you heard there was like that little whoosh sound. I never use them though. So aside from that is that slide, wipe, and fade can be changed. As you can see, they have these dots in their boxes. So if I click slide, there are these 4 boxes. So if I tap it again, it now changes the direction where it goes. So right here, it's left to right, right to left, bottom to top, top to bottom. And as you can see with wipe, that changes with slide. So I can make that be a wipe, left to right, right to left, bottom to top, top to bottom. And what fade does, if I click it again, instead of fading to black, it fades to white, and then it goes to the next thing. So
What am I doing? This is not helping.
Look how bad they look.
that explains that. And now I think that is actually all the basic stuff I've gone over. I've talked about editing. I've talked with how you can trim a video. I've talked with how you can detach a video and how you can split a video. Yeah, I can see like right here, if I click here, since this is technically when the video starts to fade to black or fade to white, I can't have the option to split it. It has to be a certain length. So the minimum with anything aside from none, since it's instantaneous, your video can be as short as for 0.4 seconds. But if it's for another thing, it has to be at a minimum of 0.8 seconds. If you go any shorter than that, then your video will not be able to do that. So yeah. But if I say, take this, make it longer, and make this, okay, gonna have to make it even longer. So now it's at 5.3 seconds. So if I change this to 2 seconds, then this should technically decrease by 1.5. So this is now 2 seconds longer, and yes, it has decreased by that 1.5. And all I can make it is that the minimum length of this video can now only be 2.3 seconds because all that time is being taken into it transitioning to the next thing. So yeah, now I think I've gone over everything. I've talked about adding files. I've talked about cutting and the basic stuff of editing. And so that's this portion of the video. And since I've literally done this for more than 20 times, I'm going to leave this portion of the video off here. So I hope you found this all educational, and hopefully I didn't miss anything. And if I did, maybe you found something that I didn't actually know. I've just literally have 2 pages typed out of things that I've gone over, and I am glad to say I've finally, out of these 20 takes, done everything in the order I've wanted it to be. So yeah, I hope you've had this video to be educational, and I hope you have a good time editing in the future. So as anyways, good luck, Falcons, and that is all.